The global economy in 2025 moves with a cautious, uneven rhythm. We are living through a period of profound recalibration, where the old certainties of the post-Cold War era have given way to a more fragmented and competitive landscape. GDP, the simple measure of a country's total economic output in a year, tells a story of divergence. The International Monetary Fund projects global growth to hover around a modest 3.2%. This figure, while stable, masks the turbulence beneath the surface. The world is no longer marching in lockstep. Regional blocs are forming. National interests are reasserting themselves with a force not seen in decades. This new era is defined by a complex interplay of forces. Composite image showing a container ship, a microchip, and wind turbines. The tailwinds of post-pandemic recovery have largely dissipated, leaving economies to face more fundamental challenges. Consumers are spending, but with more hesitation as inflation, though cooling, remains a persistent worry for central bankers and households alike. Technology, particularly artificial intelligence, promises a productivity boom. The rise of protectionism and geopolitical friction acts as a powerful brake on global trade. The free flow of goods, capital, and ideas that once powered global growth can no longer be taken for granted. The narrative of 2025 is not one of simple recovery, but of a complex, multi-speed world. Some nations are accelerating, powered by demographic advantages and strategic policy shifts, while others find themselves mired in structural stagnation. The easy money era is over, and governments must now confront the consequences of years of accumulated debt. The cost of capital is higher, demanding greater discipline and smarter investments. This environment rewards countries with resilient domestic markets and the foresight to adapt to a world where global supply chains are being redrawn along geopolitical lines. The pandemic's disruption has accelerated trends that were already underway, from digitalization to deglobalization. Nations are now being tested on their ability to navigate this new terrain. The winners will be those who can foster innovation, manage their finances prudently, and secure their place in the new, more localized networks of global commerce. It is a world where every percentage point of growth is hard-won, and the plot twists are coming faster than many forecasters can predict. A look at the world's top 10 economies by nominal GDP reveals the shifting balance of power in stark numerical terms. These figures, calculated in US dollars, are more than just a league table. They are a snapshot of national ambition, industrial might, demographic destiny. The list for 2025 contains a significant plot twist, a clear signal that the economic hierarchy we have known for decades is being rewritten. The old order is being challenged not by a single rival, but by a rising tide of new competitors from the developing world, fundamentally altering the global economic map. Here is the hierarchy as projected for 2025. 1. United States, $30.51 trillion. Its dominance is built on a dynamic technology sector and the world's largest consumer market. 2. China, $19.21 trillion. The world's factory floor is pivoting toward high-tech industries and domestic consumption. 3. Germany, $4.74 trillion. An export powerhouse grappling with high energy costs and an industrial slowdown. 4. India, $4.19 trillion. The breakout star, propelled by youthful demographics and a booming services sector. 5. Japan, $4.18 trillion. A high-tech, aging society battling decades of deflation and slow growth. 6. United Kingdom, $3.84 trillion. Navigating post-Brexit realities with a resilient financial services sector. 7. France, $3.21 trillion. Its economy is buoyed by luxury goods, tourism, and aerospace. 8. Italy, $2.42 trillion. 9. Canada, $2.24 trillion. 10. Brazil, $2.13 trillion. The most dramatic story within this list is the ascent of India. For the first time, it is projected to eclipse Japan, claiming the number 4 spot by a razor-thin margin. This is not just a statistical fluctuation, it is a symbolic moment. It represents the culmination of years of rapid growth in India and the long-term structural stagnation that has plagued Japan. While Japan remains a technological leader with immense wealth, its demographic headwinds and inability to generate inflation and growth have created an opening for a more dynamic competitor to surpass it. The rest of the list tells a story of stability and struggle. Germany, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, each retains a strong presence but faces common challenges of an aging workforce, regulatory burdens, and intense competition from both the US and Asia. Canada and Brazil hold their ground, their economic health closely linked to the volatile cycles of global demand for raw materials. At the apex of the global economy stand three titans each, with a unique formula for growth and a distinct set of challenges. The United States remains the undisputed leader, its $30.51 trillion economy, a fortress of innovation and consumption. Technology firms dominate, deep capital markets, the dollar as the world's reserve currency, steady consumer spending supported by a resilient labor market. The Federal Reserve's anticipated pivot toward lower interest rates is expected to further fuel this momentum, making capital cheaper for businesses and households. China holds its position as the world's second-largest economy, but its growth story has become far more complex. The era of double-digit expansion is a distant memory, with growth now settling into a more modest 4% range. Beijing is steering the economy away from over-reliance on real estate and away from low-end manufacturing, toward higher-value sectors, electric vehicles, renewable energy, advanced semiconductors. But the path is fraught with obstacles: a severe property market downturn, mounting local government debt, and a rapidly aging population that threatens to shrink its workforce. The most exciting story among the giants is India, the express train of the global economy. Its surge to the number 4 position is powered by a potent combination of factors. With a growth rate exceeding 6%, it stands out in a world of otherwise sluggish expansion. India's demographic dividend is its greatest asset. A young and growing population provides a vast pool of labor and consumers. This is complemented by a digital revolution transforming the services sector and government initiatives designed to boost manufacturing and attract foreign investment. India is reaping the benefits of being a democratic alternative to China for global supply chains. Together, these three nations represent the primary poles of global economic power. The US is the established incumbent, China is the powerful challenger managing a difficult transition, and India is the fast-rising contender with demographic wins in its sails. The dynamic between these three, a mix of competition, cooperation, and strategic rivalry, will define the economic narrative for the next decade. Their individual policy choices regarding trade, technology, and debt will have ripple effects that touch every corner of the global economy, shaping the fortunes of nations large and small. Beyond the top three, the global economic landscape is a patchwork of established powers, facing structural headwinds and commodity-driven economies. In Europe, the traditional industrial engines are sputtering. Germany, at number 3, its export-oriented model now appears vulnerable. High energy prices have squeezed its manufacturing base, slowing demand from China and intensifying competition in the auto sector. The nation faces the difficult task of retooling its industrial strategy for a new geopolitical and environmental era. The other major European economies, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, each navigate their own unique circumstances, while sharing common regional pressures. The United Kingdom, in 6th place, is still charting its course outside the European Union. Its formidable financial services sector provides a stable anchor. Its professional services sector also anchors the economy. Persistent inflation and trade frictions have capped its growth potential. France, at number 7, relies on luxury goods, tourism, and aerospace, sectors that have shown resilience. Italy, at number 8, is using a massive injection of EU recovery funds to modernize its infrastructure. But its chronically high public debt remains a significant long-term risk. In the Americas, Canada and Brazil stand out as key players. Canada, ranking 9th, leverages oil, natural gas, minerals, and timber. Its economic performance often mirrors fluctuations in global commodity prices. The country's proactive immigration policies counteract an aging population and fill critical labor shortages. This reliance on commodities, however, leaves it exposed to the global push for decarbonization. Brazil rounds out the top 10: soybeans, beef, and coffee. The nation is also increasingly attracting investment for its potential in renewable energy and biofuels, but political instability remains a recurring theme. And the global pressure to balance agricultural expansion with preserving the Amazon presents a complex challenge. These nations show that while size and resources matter, so does the ability to adapt to a rapidly changing world. As we look across the 2025 economic landscape, a clear pattern emerges. The world is bifurcating. Emerging markets, led by India and other dynamic economies in Asia, are consistently growing faster than their advanced counterparts in Europe and North America. This divergence is reshaping global capital flows, supply chains, and geopolitical influence. The momentum has shifted southward and eastward. However, this growth is not without its perils. Inflation, while subsiding from its recent peaks, remains a threat that could force central banks to keep monetary policy tighter for longer than anticipated, potentially stifling recovery. The global trade environment has become distinctly more challenging. The era of hyperglobalization is over, replaced by a more fragmented system characterized by tariffs, sanctions, and a push for friendshoring. This slowdown in global trade acts as a headwind for everyone, but it particularly hurts export-dependent nations. In its place, two powerful secular trends are providing new avenues for growth: the technological revolution driven by artificial intelligence and the global transition toward green energy. These shifts have the potential to unlock trillions of dollars in economic value and create entirely new industries over the coming decade. The ultimate winners in this complex new world will be the nations that can successfully navigate these cross-currents. The United States maintains its pole position through its sheer scale and unmatched capacity for innovation. China's future depends on its ability to manage its domestic economic imbalances, while continuing its push for technological self-sufficiency. India's trajectory is perhaps the most compelling, as its youthful energy and rapid growth position it as a defining economic force for the 21st century. The race is not a sprint, it is a marathon where adaptability is paramount. The story of the 2025 economy is one of a world in flux, marked by both resilience and fragility. The rankings show that no country's position is guaranteed, and the forces of demography, technology, and geopolitics can create surprising plot twists. Small policy decisions made today, on debt, trade, and innovation, will have profound consequences for the decades to come. In this shifting landscape, smart choices will, pave the path to prosperity.